But no, coach. I wanted you to continue. You left off on Malcolm Simmons. You was naming
Yeah,
players.
I'd say yeah. We was at Malcolm. I think DeMarcus Riddick, KJ Jackson. He's 24. He's gonna be starting quarterback for Arkansas this year. And then of course 25. We got hands on guys like Eric Winters, among others. So we had a big 25 class as well. 26. We got some guys about to pop. EJ Crowell and Dylan Purter and Marquez James at Florida right now, among a few others. So. And you all just saw the team. Our 27s are pretty good. We got a
Fact.
28 that just got every offer in the country at TB. So we're not hurting. We're not hurting. We're just looking to keep building the 28 and 29 class out. And then we've got to get all our 27 guys in school. So that's what we're doing. It's the same formula every year. You get kids in school. And if you do that, you'll keep a bunch of kids that's going to college. So.
Period. How do you identify talent, coach? Like, how do you like?
Hmm.
I want to train this guy. I want to take a chance on this guy. I want to develop him. How do you identify that? What's your process?
So some people bring me kids and I evaluate them. They know what I'm looking for. Because, I've been doing it a while. And then other kids, we get from tryouts and things like that. And then you have a lot of other kids, they'll come to us and then I just identify them. And I'm a straight shooter. So it's a lot better than me lying to a parent or lying to a kid that you can really play at a certain level. Sometimes I'll tell you, hey, your kid can play at the FCS level. If I say that, that doesn't mean your kid is bad at football. Like some people will take it as oh, you don't think my kid good? Well, I hate to tell you, but an FCS kid is a very, very good football player. But a lot of people take that and take it as a slap in the face. And I'm pretty straight up. But when I'm identifying a kid, of course, the first thing you have to do, you go off size because if you ever been on D1 campus, the guys they're big. And then you go off athleticism to see if they physically can do things, and then you start going off, that what can they do, and you go from there, see if they can really develop into that. But of course, the want to has to be there. You got to get a guy that really wants to do this because when you talk about sending a guy to college, that kid has to understand, and the parents need to understand that coach can get fired if they're wrong. So
Mm.
they can their livelihood, so they'll have to go home and tell their wives and kids, "Hey, I'm out of a job." They're out of a job if they miss on too many kids. So they can't take a bunch of risk on kids that don't check certain boxes. So I try to check as many boxes as I can ahead of time. And we've been successful by checking certain boxes.
Period. And then, so we talk about how you evaluate talent, how you obviously get them to that next level, coach. So give me kind of put us on game a little bit. We've seen some of your 27s, 28. Give me like who's kind of coming down the pipe. We know 27. Give me some of the young thoroughbreds we need to kind of watch out for in Alabama. 28, 29.
So 28's a very young class. I'm still trying to find. I've seen a corner. I want to mention his name. I
Okay.
don't. He's good though. He's a national type of kid. It's a really, really good talent. He's like 6'1", 6'2", real good player. Um, he's down in Southern Alabama. That's all I'll say. But he's really, really good. I got a linebacker slash edge kid. He's coming. 6'4", 225, 230. Truly in his right grade. So no, we don't hold back kids. We don't do the red shirt. Um, for 28, let me see, who do I really have for 28? Of course, CJ James, Craig James. Everybody's seen him. Everybody's seen the offer list. It's unbelievable right now. He's probably the hottest recruit in America the other week. He's a really, really talented safety. 6'3", can do everything. Can flat out do everything. The Zion Coger kid we have at running back for 28, he's in that. He's going to be all everything at running back. He can do it all, and he's 187 to 193 pounds, depending on when he weighs in. But he can do everything as well. I just worked out a 29 receiver that he had a slight injury, so he couldn't come to the sevens. But he's 6'2", 185, 87 pounds. He can. He's gonna be a national kid when it's all said and done. We're
Mm,
really developing that class. We got some 27s that's still, I got a 27 just ran 10.76 or something like that. So he's a kid that you're gonna see probably be popular this spring. Mason McClure is gonna be a popular kid this spring. He just ran a I won't mention the time because it hasn't been dropped yet, but he ran a very, very, very good time at Under Armour yesterday. So we're waiting on that to drop. And I got a 27 tight end, 6'4", 220. He's a little nicked up when it was time at the sevens, but he just come off a visit to Texas Tech. So Bennett Jordan, he's 6'4", 220. So we got some guys that like that you'll see. And then for 28, we'll still, like we say, we're building that class out. It's top heavy in Alabama now, so we're trying to get the depth going there. And for 29, it's DB down in Williamson, the Captain Munnerlin. His dad played pro. His son
he
is a
did.
yeah,
Panthers. Dab for Panthers.
yeah, but his son's like maybe a top
Really?
10 player in the country. He's that good. Oh yeah, yeah. He's a problem. Whew, he can go. But I've seen some 20. I've seen a 28 receiver. In Mobile, I hadn't seen him up close and personal, so I don't want to say what he is. But he looks like he's going to be a national guy. So I think it's going to be a lot of 28s pop out. But I might have to come back in the summer. And then I could probably give you like 20 new names that are popping up. Like the Koger kid, he's got one offer. He's got LSU. I'm saying he got one big offer, but he's got a really big one.
Hey,
But yeah, but he's going to be a kid that ends up with 20 plus major offers and be able to pick what school he goes to. So you got him, of course, Dedrick Kimbrough. He's been a star at Thompson. Um,
yeah.
Big old physical kid. He's going to probably be, after we finish this off season, it's going to be really, really, really good. I think we're working on some things that's going to really open up his game. And we'll be showcasing it, of course, in the summer. We do a showcase for all our kids. You guys be invited to come hang out, see what we got, see if y'all want to see some Alabama best kids. And we'll try our best to invite as many of the top kids too, so that'll help out, you guys getting eyes on everybody.
Nah, I appreciate that, coach, man. Much love to that. One more and I'll throw it to Bacon. I wanted to ask you, obviously, you do great with the training, you're doing the 707. Like, what is your philosophy when it comes to competing? Like, you're going to sevens. I know y'all be all over. Like, look, you're gonna have to do this, you're gonna play for all gas. Like
Yeah,
this is gonna be
so here's the thing. Here's the thing when it comes to that. And we're gonna get back to we've been playing young guys up, try to speed up their development, but we are gonna get back to doing a true 18U and a true 15U because we will play our guys up and we're playing them. We got like an eighth grade kid with an offer, right? Well, earned an offer. And we're playing him at corner and of course our corners outside, they're grown men. Everybody saw it. Nobody receivers got open on them. We put them on the best receivers in America. Nobody got open. Well, they'll get them matched up on a young eighth grader. The kid's good, but he's in the eighth grade. So we're going to go back to putting those guys on a true 15U and letting our older guys get all the reps against everybody else's 18U. And because competing, if you can't compete in 7-on-7, honestly, you're probably not going to be good in college. And
Hmm.
people think it's like, oh, it's not real. But if you're in actual really good term, like the sevens, everybody has D1 kids there. When you look around, no one's trying to get embarrassed. So if you can't compete at a high level against other D1 kids, I highly doubt if you're going to go to college and be good because everybody's going to look like that. And that's a similar, you're not going to face D1 kids on your high school schedule, honestly. You may face one good receiver all year if you're a DB. If you're a receiver, you may never face a 5-star corner. So when are you going to see the 6-foot corner that's not scared of you? You got to
Hmm.
face him at a tournament like that. So that's where you get the judgment. And if people are running like the pro style type offense, we try our best to run more pro style for our quarterbacks, so they're getting ready for college. On our side, we of course a lot of our kids they do play in good pro style offense in high school, but we also want to do our part. So if you're going against, like say for instance a DB, he going against a D1 quarterback throwing to a D1 receiver and the ball's always coming. It's not going to be like 1, 2 targets. No, you may get 10 targets. How are you going to respond to that? And
Mm,
that's what that gets you ready for college. Because if you go to college and you go into one of these top schools, like you go to Bama. I saw Bama play LSU when Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson and everybody was there, and Bama's lining up Henry Ruggs and Judy and Devontae Smith and Waddle. You
right.
cannot hide. They can't hide you when they got all this talent. You
No,
better be ready to play, and that's what you have to get guys ready for if you want to send them to those type of schools. When you're talking about a Georgia, Florida, Ohio State, they're going to be on a national stage, and you're going to have to compete against. I mean, I had a corner at Tennessee having to compete against Jeremiah Smith and Ryan Williams in the same year.
Good God Almighty.
Well, he's
So,
at Texas A&M now, but he's a ball player. I mean, he had to do it as a true sophomore. And he calls me, and I'm like, "Well, this what you signed up for? What you want me to?"
it is.
And he's a wonderful player. I mean, his name's Rickey Gibson. He's a 4-star kid coming to high
It's
school.
good. Yep.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He's one of my proud. I'm proud of Ricky. He knows that. We're proud of Rick. He's one of those kids you see grow and develop, and he's a freak athlete, like 40-inch vertical. But he's a kid that you get to see develop because he put the time in outside of 7-on-7, and that's what a lot of kids gotta do. Even 7-on-7 is a tool, but you gotta work on your craft as well. 7-on-7 is gonna take care of what it's gonna take care of. High school football is gonna take care of what it's gonna take care of, but you gotta work on your craft, and that's the main thing that a lot of guys aren't doing as much as they used to do.
Period. Y'all heard that right there, man. From Coach Steele, man. Hey, work on your craft, man. I think Coach Steele said it best. Not just in the 7-on-7, not just in the practices with your high school. Do the work outside of that. Last one, I'm gonna throw to you, Big. I gotta ask you, Coach. Current state of Alabama high school football. I don't want you to say about the players. We know the talent is there. You even said you had to go to Nashville. I don't want you to get in no trouble, nothing. I just want you to just say your thoughts on Alabama, like just the media coverage, like obviously you down south, Southern Charm, Larry, TD, Alabama. Just how do you feel the scene is there currently right now?
So the scene's pretty good. I don't. So I'm in a different position because I did, of course, the media guys. We always make sure we keep relationships with the media. Um, I think the more our media people in state make sure that they're non-biased. I'm not
mm,
saying that they're biased, but the more you make sure that you're non-biased, it also makes everybody wants to work with you. And if you become biased, it makes people not want to work with you, and you don't get as much attention as you should get as a local writer compared to the national writers. I do think we got a lot of coverage because at first, like you say, when I went to Nashville like almost 8, 9 years ago at this point. So it's been a while. It's not like new. But when I went up there, the media coverage was different up there. And then we brought the media back down to Alabama. So you see, like we say, we have a practice and a media day, and Chad Simmons comes to cover it due to the amount of prospects that we get out to it. And typically in the summer, I was having a media day, and we would get every recruiting writer. They would all come down, and we're going to do that again this year, of course. But it's just one of those things where the local media, we invite everyone out, work with everybody so everybody wants to work with you, and that'll make a big difference when it comes to media. It's just like you guys working with everybody. When I saw you at the sevens, y'all say, "Hey, we got to get you on the show." I'm like, okay, I don't care, I don't really do interviews, but I will, because you all want me to do interviews, and it doesn't matter for me. So you try your best to make sure to interview the local media here. They know to be fair and non-biased. Like, just cover the state fair. Prospect, no matter where they are in Alabama, if they're in West Alabama, North, South, East, Central, you don't care. Just call it spade for spade and be done with it. And you'll be great at covering our state. It's so many prospects to where you don't have to cover the same guy. You don't have to cover the same guy every other week. You cover a bunch of guys. Just because you got a bunch of views with this guy doesn't mean you can't get a bunch of views with the next kid. So don't get caught. Yeah, I mean, if you're looking for the next kid, you'll find the next kid.
Mm-hmm.
Period.
Yeah, I
People
don't.
get people get
Yeah,
lost in that.
yeah. Like my biggest thing with me, if a kid starts popping off with offers, I need to find the next kid because whoever is helping him obviously is doing a wonderful job if he's getting a bunch of offers. So you don't need to interfere with that if you really are about the kid. You need to find the next kid to help. But a lot of people like to be with the popular kid, but you can make another kid popular, man. Like I hate to tell you that it's a bunch of them pop out every year. So and that's just my philosophy on it. Like Georgia, if I was in South Georgia, it would be unreal.
Oh, I already know.
I
Can't
may
be
Oh,
come to
kidding.
South. I may come to South Georgia. I
you
mean,
should. Because it ain't. I'm gonna be real with you, coach. It's a gold mine down
I
there. It ain't
know.
enough coverage. And the credit, I'm gonna give you a little tidbit. I'm gonna give you a little spill. A lot of the media here, they'll go. They'll make the
They're in
trips. But
Atlanta.
they're not. Yeah, they're not
It's
going down there
easy.
consistent and
Well,
playing.
it's easy. But Georgia, Mississippi, I could.
Mississippi a gold mine too, coach.
Oh
Facts.
You
man,
talk
here we
about that
go.
enough. It's gold mine. If you know, you
It's
know.
it's like two, three. It's a few states that are under. They got some pieces to them. I'm gonna branch out more this year coming up. I'm doing some things, so you may see me in South Georgia or Mississippi. It depends. I've been straight Alabama for years, but we got so many kids that we could help, and I just might need to branch out a tad bit more the way we doing things. So you'll see. I mean, especially with the different sponsorships we have coming up, I'll be announcing them. I'll make sure y'all know. But so we'll be branching out. We'll be branching out. So
That's what I'm talking about.
You
Go ahead,
heard it
coach.
here first, folks. You heard it here first. Coach, you don't do a lot of interviews, but you're doing an amazing job, my friend. I must point
I'm
that out.
interviewing this year. I'm interviewing this year.
Oh, so you're
It
going on a
throws people
tour.
off. It throws people off that I can actually interview for that.
Promo tour. But people put out albums,
Yeah,
Coach putting out new stuff, going on a promo tour. I'm glad we are the first stop
hey,
for you, bro.
we got some things going on, but y'all first on tour. Look, y'all first on tour.
That's love.
When we get everything booked, I invite you guys down because I got something going on in May. Probably, I'm looking at May, and then we'll have something else happen in July. So you all will be invited down to everything. You get as much. We don't limit interviews who. We for the kids. So, what you all come out, hang out, eat, and get your interviews and drive on back, man. It's not a problem.
You care if you live stream?
Yeah, you can live stream. I don't care.
All right.
They
I
they
got to
they'll
get
be
free.
ready. They'll be ready.
Hey, we already know it. They anything like you just going to be smooth, sound like hair grease. But,
Lord have mercy. Yeah, man.
nah, Coach. But I got to ask you, we talked about finding new kids. I know this young man I'm getting ready to bring up is not a new kid, but he is sitting behind QB1 right now, Thompson Trent Seaborn Jari Nation, if I'm saying his name correctly. Long, wiry kid, smooth throwing motion. I like him a lot. I'm sure Najeh likes him just as much. But from you, what do you see from Mr. Nation?
He's got a lot of potential, of course. It's just like you say, with a young guy, you just want to see him continuously develop. But he's got all the talent, of course, to take over and be a guy for the 2030 class at quarterback. So that's what you're looking for. When those kids, if they're in the eighth, ninth grade, you're not looking for a finished product. You're just trying to see if they got a ceiling. So he's got high growth potential. Of course, he's got size, he's got arm talent, and you just want to see his body keep developing. Of course. Which is typical of an eighth, ninth grader, because you don't want them too big already, and then they get to college and they're just too big to move. But that's the big thing. You're just gonna watch him keep growing and develop over the years. But he's got the talent to do it, of course. Smart kid.
Do you think he's a more of a pocket passer, dual threat? What is he? What type of lane does he kind of fall into?
For right now, I think his style of play, he's a distributor. He's a big arm distributor, which is what you want, and then he'll run when it's time. So that's what you're looking at on him, his style of play. He's going to distribute the football, and honestly, receivers going to want a guy that distributes the football. You don't want a guy that runs because you'll never get the ball. So guys are going to want to play with him, especially at the next level because he distributes the football.
100%. And I gotta ask you, we can't let you get out of the building without letting me ask you about 2028 running back. Got the LSU offer, Mr. Cole.
What about him?
You talked about Crowell earlier. We already know what type of running back Alabama's getting this year. When you compare and contrast the two, you know what I mean?
Here's the thing. See, you all want to compare to E.J. Crowell. E.J. Crowell is one of the best prospects that we've ever seen at running back in the state of Alabama. So I don't really like to compare Coger to him because Coger is his own back. It's like me saying E.J. Crowell is a better running back than Quinshon Judkins. Well, for me to do that, that's kind of not right when Quinshon ran for 1,500 and 20 plus touchdowns as a freshman. So I don't really like to compare guys off of each other. I'll tell you what Coger can do, if
Okay.
that makes sense. He can do everything. Yeah, of course, he's a strong kid. He just squatted 453 times the other day as a sophomore. So we're talking about a really strong kid. He can catch the ball. I mean, he plays defense. He plays corner. So he's gonna be he plays corner and safety, runs back, kicks. So he's gonna be an all-purpose back that can do it all, every down back. And if you want me to compare, like, I think he can make an impact as a freshman, if that makes sense, when
Right.
it's his time, because he's going to have the size, the skill set, and he's a smart kid. So when we're talking about a elite running back prospect, yeah, he'll be elite running back prospect for 28 for sure. Um, EJ was already like 210 at this age, and he had a jetpack on his back. I mean, everybody knows EJ ran 10.69 his freshman year.
That's crazy.
So y'all want me to compare? Yeah, yeah. He should have been documented state. So he ran it at state. He got disqualified before he ran the next one because he stepped out of his lane. So that's what I'm saying. Like, you're talking about a kid with EJ. I don't know what Zion's going to develop into, but EJ already had some things already checked. EJ probably should have been top 3 player in America if he wasn't a running back, but they don't value running back. But he's gonna push really high on the running back charts because he can do everything and he has wonderful size. I mean, when you see him, you know he's a running back. So that's the thing with him. He's an elite running back prospect. And I mean, we've had Kevin Riley, who's at Bama right now. So I've seen the running backs. He's as good. He's gonna be a really good running back prospect. I just don't like to compare kids to EJ and Q because you
That's
asking a lot. Like, Quinshon just came and ran 1,500 in the SEC. And he didn't have just an unreal line at Ole Miss. They had a good line, but they didn't have one that just was mowing people down. So he was doing damage. So I don't like to put too much expectations with comparisons. But Coger's gonna be one of the top back. I think he's a top 5 back in America, easily.
What about his pass catching ability outside the backfield? I've
Oh
seen the
no, he catch
film.
everything.
Yeah, like a
No,
receiver,
no,
really.
he's off the chain catching the ball. He's got. I mean, you got to look. He plays corner and safety, so he's got ball skills from playing. He plays more than one position. Compared to some running backs that only play running back, he plays defense, but he can do everything. Like, it's not anything on a football field that he can't do. Matter of fact, him catching the ball may be one of the strongest things that he does. And if I work him out and show you him catching the ball, you're like, oh, he like that? Like, yeah, he's actually like that. Like, if teams actually played linebackers at the sevens instead of corner on him, he probably have 100 touchdowns.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy. All right. I want to ask about the name All Gas Crew. How did that name come about?
Okay, so I had a corner, right? Corner way back 2016 class. It was early. He wanted
Mm-hmm.
me to do 7-on-7. And I was like, man, I ain't doing 7-on-7. He's like, we don't want to play for this other guy. I'm not gonna name him because I don't like to throw people on the bus. And then so I was like, man, I don't know, And he's like, we call it Gas Crew. And his name's Yule, little Yule. Yule Gowdy. He went on to be an All-American at Jacksonville State. He started like 3 years, started playing as a freshman, but he came up with it. And he flat out came up with it when we were working out. And we took it and ran with it. That's where the gas crew came from. Because we was just all gas training at first. And he came up with the gas crew part. So,
So y'all training
yeah.
was 5-6 days a week?
Huh?
So y'all was, when you say y'all was all gas, that means y'all was training 5-6 days a week?
We was training at least four.
That's tough
Like in
too.
the off season, we trained at least four at that point. I had guys train because teams weren't as serious in the off season as they are now in Alabama. It's developed. I mean, the way they're training kids at some of these programs, it makes zero sense to do any weight training outside of high school. I
Mm.
mean, because they're training them, they train them like college. So
Yeah.
whatever you're doing extra's not gonna do that much. The skill training matters. The skill training matters, but doing the weight training, you gotta look. Once they get a kid to campus, they're going to the best facilities that you can find. So they really don't need your little house. They don't. You'll see a 160-pound kid, 185 pounds in 3 months at some of these programs because they got nutrition and they're working out. They got it down to a science. So that's why the skill training. If your feet are good, as soon as you come in, your feet, all your technique for your position, you'll play early. You'll play because you're ready to help on the football field. They can get that body ready. They pay strength conditioning coaches a lot of money to get bodies ready.
Nah, that's a fact. So, Coach, we're in Alabama at least. Recently we've been. I think these past 2 years we've been twice a year.
Mhm.
7 and we came to one game. We see what Alabama has to offer now. We come back to Georgia. We try to tell our other reporter friends, like, nah, man, Alabama ain't now. They always got jokes. They're crazy. You know what I mean? So as you have evaluated the state, you know what I mean, you see Alabama football. Where do you feel like Alabama football ranks among the Power Five? Texas, California, Georgia, and
That's a
Florida.
good question.
Okay, so I'm going to say this, and everybody know I'm Alabama crazy. So if you want to tell me about, you want me to talk about recruiting states or what? Because high school doesn't count. California has private schools, so
Mm,
you're playing guys that's, I mean, they're from everywhere. Like Chris Henry wasn't from California, so you're playing guys from everywhere. So are we talking about the talent, or you want me to
talent,
talk
yes.
about recruiting? So if you told me to rank the states, I would deal with. I'd say it's Georgia and Florida first. I like Georgia. I think Georgia has more size for us, like the trenches.
Okay.
That's the problem with Alabama. Alabama doesn't produce O linemen at a high clip, if
Why do
that
you think that
matters.
is?
Uh, I don't know. I don't know. The population's not really big here compared to other states either. Like Houston has 3 times as many people as the whole state of Alabama.
Yeah.
Think about that. They have a city in Texas with more talent. With more people than us. So, I would go Georgia due to the size of the O lineman that you can get. You can get every position in Georgia. I would go Georgia, Florida, Texas, because I like the D lineman in Georgia a lot more. I like some of the D linemen from Florida more. Texas, I like their quarterbacks. I like their skill players. Um, of course, Bama, we push with Louisiana, of course. Louisiana has the receivers. I don't think it's a better state in America that produces receivers. I don't care what nobody says.
Mm.
I don't care. It's wild. I don't know
Facts.
what they're doing down there. I don't know what happens, but of course, we just see today it's a kid going viral as a freshman at LSU, just one hand the ball off guy's face. So, um, Pennsylvania produces a lot of talent.
Mm.
A lot of it. People don't understand that. Pennsylvania and Ohio produce a lot of talent that you would know. Of course, DC produces a lot of talent. California, I would go there for a quarterback. I love their quarterbacks.
That's it.
And, hey, I
That's
love their
it, Coach.
quarterbacks. I don't have anything to say about the other because They have a high population, and for the
Yeah.
population that they have, they don't produce like some of these other they don't produce like some of these other states for say for the population of guys. Like you're going to see good receivers and you're going to see good quarterbacks, but where are the D linemen? So if I'm going to recruit one, if you're going to pick me one state to recruit, I gotta have line play to really go do damage, and that's the thing. I think they produce very good O linemen, but it's the defensive linemen that you're going to be looking at. That how many are you going to get out of there if you're trying to build a championship? Because I think out of Georgia, out of Florida, you can get a whole D line. You can get like especially you go to Mississippi and get everything on the D line. Like
Mm.
everything on the D line out of Mississippi. Like it happens. I mean, Birmingham's probably been the best D tackle producing city in the country the past 10 years. Nobody they don't want that battle. Like they don't want that battle. It's like Quentin Williams, Deron Payne, Marcel Darius, Peter Woods right now. I mean, they just had a few more pop out again, but you're talking about superstars that you tackle out of one city. So that's why I say what I say about that. But I would go Georgia, Florida, just do the Georgia top to bottom. I can stay in state realistically and get every position. Um, I would go Georgia, Florida, Texas, due to the amount of people they have. And then Alabama starts pushing with everybody else. Like you can, if you want to take Pennsylvania over Alabama, that's your opinion. But I can take Alabama if need be. You can take Ohio. You'll push for Alabama. Louisiana, you push. Louisiana, the only thing, Louisiana doesn't have a lot of depth, but their top guys are wonderful. Their top guys are always as good as anybody in America. But they don't have a lot of depth due to their population. And I also think it's some parts of Louisiana that people don't get to see. Because all they really see is like New Orleans and Baton Rouge
Mhm.
area mostly. So um, but yeah, you go to Georgia and go to South Georgia, your trenches are done.
Like,
When you go to Mississippi, your trenches are done over there. Your trenches are completely done in Mississippi if you just go over there and hang out. They got the biggest kids I've ever seen. I think South Carolina has a lot of talent that doesn't get seen.
very true. Very true. I
Yeah.
think so too. Nah,
So,
he had a flashback thinking about South Georgia again. Let me get out the topic. Let me get out the topic.
here we go with that, man. Here we go with that. I just, we just speaking on talent, but a lot of Tennessee has a lot of talent. They've done a really good job of developing kids. My buddy Banks up there for Tennessee Select, they headed that thing years ago, and it's been a lot of people branched off, and the culture has changed, and they got a lot of people that's working on kids up there. So you got a lot of guys that's developing kids up in Tennessee.
That's a
So
fact. I'll bring it back to you, Coach. You do a lot, impact the young man's life. Personally, what does it do for you? To change these kids' lives. To see them 10 years later and they're doing well for themselves. What does that do for you?
I mean, like it's just great that I'm helping the next generation. You just want to make sure the next generation of guys are getting put in position to be successful. I think that's our jobs. We've got to have a purpose where we're helping the next guys be great, and it's not about you. It can't just be about you self-serving. You got to be able to serve the next generation to an extent, and that's what I think I'm doing. That's a gift that I've been given. So that's what it does for me. I get fulfillment when I see the guys have success at the next level, and then they go graduate, and some of them hadn't. Their whole family, nobody has graduated ever from college. So you see, that's like what we're out here for. You're here to put kids in college so they can better their lives and have a shot after college to make their lives a lot easier than say a guy that doesn't have a degree and they don't know where they need to go with it, and you're stuck doing something that they don't want to do at all. The networking that comes from going to college, some of these colleges. I got kids that go to Wake Forest. So I know a lot of people don't want to hear about it, but they go to Wake Forest, you probably and graduate, you're probably a six-figure guy when you graduate, which changes your life. You're in a whole different tax bracket. So that's what we get out of it. You want to make sure the next guys are really having success at the next level and in life when they go on. So that's what I'm getting out of it.
Listen, last question for me, Coach, and I'll throw it back to Najeh. So quick, Coach, just talk a little bit more about yourself. Play high school football, play college football. I'm sure, you know what I mean. When you look back at your playing career, how different was it? Or if you had today's opportunities, how different do you think your career would have been? Like NIL, you know what I mean, whole nine.
So, right, like the biggest thing that they're getting is they're getting such advanced training right now to where it's very hard if you have any type of talent to not be successful. It's a lot less kids going bounce through the cracks. And I think that's the biggest change from my generation to this one. A lot less kids, it's a lot more kids that are really getting opportunities because, back in our day, if you weren't good and you didn't make yourself good, it wasn't a lot of trainers around. So
Right.
it's going to be what it's going to be. But now you got so many avenues. It's a lot of, it's not just me training. It's a lot of guys training in Alabama that are doing good jobs for kids. And they've made it where you can, everybody, you put in work, you put in enough work with talent, the kid's going to probably be good enough on a football field. And that's what I think the biggest change and things are. It's not just of course, NIL's there for guys that are really, really good. But when you get the opportunities that a lot of these kids are getting, a lot of it's coming from the development that's going on by the entire state, if that makes sense. So I think the development has changed so much from generation to generation, and that's what's helped these new guys out a lot because you'll get a very fast kid that you teach how to be good at football, or you get an athletic kid that you teach, or you get the basketball kid that he may not love football, but that's his way out. So
Mm-hmm.
you teach because he's 6'2", can jump out the gym, but he's a 6'2" power forward. Well, now he's a 6'2" receiver that's 30 offers. So you're getting guys that's getting identified and put in the right position. They're not just playing a position to help their high school coach win games. They're camping and at the right position that'll help them get a scholarship offer. So that's what we've seen. I think the biggest difference is with us.
Well, how do you
And
toughen up that basketball player that's been, like you said, the 6'2" power forward? How do you, number one, convince? I mean, I understand you convince them by, hey, he's power forward, you come play for us, you get 30 hours to change your life, but they're not used to that physicality, that day in, day out, pads on, extra weight. How do you convince them to do it?
how much? So honestly, the way the rules have changed, how much physicality is it?
That's valid. That's
I'm
valid.
just asking because you. So the thing about it is, we're talking about you're moving a kid from the basketball court to come over here and play receiver. He's rebounding the ball, so he's used to catching the ball with his hands.
Mm-hmm.
So then you take him and you teach him how to really run routes that are really good, not just teach him how to run go routes and high point of football, but they're not letting them get just destroyed anymore. You can't knock guys out. So it's not the whole fear factor anymore, catching the ball across the middle. So now you got more leeway with that kid. I tell you, one of my best players is a receiver. He's at Ole Miss right now, getting in the draft. His name's Harrison Wallace, #2. Well, his third sport was football. He was
Wow,
a baseball, basketball kid. Now he was unbelievably athletic. I mean, he could walk into an East Bay at 6 feet. He can do that right now, but you talking about that was his third sport. Football was his third sport. He didn't care for it. He played it. He was just naturally good at it, but that was his third sport. But he could go to college with it. So if you baseball and you basketball and you're not getting offers and you're heading into your senior or your junior year, and all the guys that you play basketball with that are playing football, they're getting offers. You're going to look around and say, "I want to go to college." All of them want to go to college.
all right.
So that's what it comes down to. God, kids want to go to college, and parents want their kids to go to college. So it's not that you're not good enough, you're not a good basketball player, but how many of them are really going? You got to be a certain height, and then you got to be crazy athletic on top of the height, and You're talking about a point guard 6'5".
Come on now.
A 6'5" receiver is gigantic. So, if I take a 6'2" receiver, he's really good size. He's a tall receiver. So the 6'2" guy in basketball is short. 6'2" guy in football is tall. And once they realize that you're still a guy that commit to playing football, he may not love it, but he like it enough. And if he played well enough to get a scholarship, he's helping teams win games. And then he start getting to college, he buys all the way in because he's a football player now. So it's just one of those things. It's the kid's gonna decide that he wants to play football because they giving him a scholarship. They're giving him scholarships. One of our best receiver prospects in the state right now is a basketball kid. 6'6", but he's getting every offer in football.
So do you see football getting taller like basketball has? You think it'll be a 6'8" receiver and that'll be the norm moving forward?
No.
No.
Because you still have to be able to run routes. It's not a lot of 6'8". He's gonna have to put his hand 6'8". You gotta put your hand in the dirt.
Okay.
Yeah, you probably need to. Yeah, you're gonna be the tight end or tackle, offensive tackle, or something like that. But you're not gonna see that guy, that 6'8" receiver. Like they try to make him. Once you get DBs playing, you get a 6'2" DB playing with his feet. That's going to be completely over. He'll never be able to get to the fade ball. So what's he going to do? Run all the routes underneath. So his advantage is gone, and now you made a guy into a route runner. He's not going to be a good route runner at 6'8". It's just not going to happen. So if I can't go to you on but one route, I can't really play you a lot. So that's why they're going to recruit the 6-foot guy or the 5'11" guy that can move and catch the ball and get first downs for him. Because if you can't get first downs at receiver, you're useless. You're useless. If all you can do is go deep, you're probably not going to be a guy that plays a lot. So that's why it's not going to ever get. If you notice, receivers got shorter. Jamar Chase is 6 feet. But you all were around when the Megatron, everybody's trying to get 6'4", 6'5" guys.
Right.
So now all these receivers you see getting paid are what, 6 feet, 6'1". Okay, Jackson Smith and Jigba is 6'1", but he's really good. He's 6'1". Jamar Chase 6 feet, really good. The tallest one out of those crazy route runners are Justin Jefferson at 6'2". I think he was 6'2" at the combine, but they're absolutely wonderful. So they went away from the tall guy because the corners got bigger. Because you got a 6'2" corner, not a fade ball. So you're not throwing fade on Surtain. You're not doing that. You know I said crazy.
That's a fact.
No, facts. I want to ask you, Coach, just what's kind of coming down the pipe for? I know you mentioned the media days and some of these showcases, but we in March, finna be April, May. What's kind of coming down the pipe for you?
Think we got one more tournament, but we're getting ready for spring ball, so all the college coaches are going to be coming through, seeing our guys. Hopefully, we get some scholarship offers. Could we get a lot of them? And then, of course, in June, of course, you got college camps, so we got to get ready for that. So we're going to start camp prep next month, and then we're going to be camping in June, and then July we start our season prep. So we got to start getting ready to play real football in the fall. We got to dominate on a football field, because if your film don't match your drills, I mean, they're gonna look at you crazy. So we kind of have things that we're doing on our end. Of course, we're doing things off the field to try to help them and help make things easier for us. On that end, like I said, we'll announce some of those, but that's all we got right now. We got one more tournament, but we're gonna be training a lot. Training some guys during the week, but we're training a lot. We're training a lot, getting guys ready for. We got a couple going up to the opening in New York. They're gonna fly in, and we got Nashville. We got Rivals, so we're gonna go up there, try to see if we can do some damage up there as a group, and then we're gonna get ready for the coaches. So we got a pretty busy schedule for us, like showcases and college visits for some of the other guys, and we're gonna keep pushing.
Period. I want to ask you, Coach. Let's say I'm a player, I want to be trained by Coach Steele and all gas, right? Like, How can I go about doing that? Is DM good to hit you on? How do I get trained at one of your facilities if I want that? And I'm willing to pay.
So, uh, I got, of course, I've got a website. It's all guys training. It's AGT athletes. You can
Yeah,
look us up really easy. But a lot of people, they never go to my website. They just find me and they shit me up DM. And I answer, of course, I answer all our DMs, of course. So, and then we'll get you in. It's not a problem. You know, some guys want to get evaluated. Some guys really want to get into the training, and we'll get you in. Of course, I work a real regular job, so it'll be in the evening. I hate to, I mean, I work, so I get to do this as a hobby, and it keeps the pressure down. I don't have to, you know, I get to pick who I want to train and things like that, but I will evaluate and try to make sure, it's worth everybody's time. And that's what we do. You contact me via DM or whatever, email, and I go ahead and get everything set up and we go from there.
period. Okay. Let me ask you this, coach. How do you balance both? I know you work. You talk about you working out, full time job. You doing all that. Like, how do you balance both? And do you foresee in the future? You talk about the expansion. Just you doing all gas and having your brand and just kind of doing that. What's your thoughts on all that?
He
It
know what
it
you said.
depends. So it just depends. It depends on what happens. I'm not a person that hates my job. So
That's good.
I don't have a problem with doing my job. It doesn't bother me. If I did, then I probably would be pushing really, really hard to be independent. But if it becomes too big for me to have to, you know, going into work and things like that, then of course I'll focus all my attention over here. But I'm still, you know, it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me at all to run this on this side because it happens when I'm in the evening. So I pretty much have a set schedule, and I know I got somewhat freedom at work. I mean, I have to work, but I have some freedom to actually be able to still be able to help kids throughout the day when I have my, I can schedule things. If that makes sense, I can schedule certain things to help guys out during the day and get on the phones and make phone calls, and then in the evening I can execute my plan. So it's not a problem balancing because I get off at 5 every day. I got a set schedule. I know what time I'm getting off. I have my people set up, and we go from there. But I don't do randoms, if that makes sense. I don't do a bunch of randomness, and that's what calms things down. And then on the weekends, we have everything set up to really roll from there. So that's kind of where the balance comes in, where I'm not overwhelming myself, where I'm not like, oh, I got to take a guy to try to pay bills. I pay all my bills, so I don't have to just try to take and hustle it. I can just run it like for what it is.
Period. Imagine this. If I throw it back to bacon, coach. What would you say it takes to be a good trainer? Like, now I know you gotta know the game. I know it ain't easy to do, but what would you say to somebody that wants to get into this field and maybe just start off small? Like, hey, I want to train
So
receivers.
So what you have to do, honestly, in my opinion, you have to continuously develop yourself as a trainer. Like you can't get stuck on doing things one way. Football changes and you have to change with it. Some things are going to stay the same, but receivers are not moving the same as they did 15 years ago. So if you're coaching DBs, you better coach for what they're doing now compared to what they've been doing 15 years ago. Also think if you're a young trainer, you need to be going to college camps and finding out what the college coaches are doing. Cause they get paid a lot of money. And some people are, oh, they ain't no good. Well, they're getting paid a lot of money. I'm not saying everything they do is right, but it's a lot of it is. Find out who's really developing a position that you like. Say for instance at DB, I like Coach Corey Raymond. He's down at LSU. So if I'm really trying to learn how to develop DBs, I would pay to try to get in the camp and watch him and let him know I'm watching him to see if I could pick his brain. So
Mm.
most of these coaches aren't low, they'll talk. They'll talk, especially if you sacrifice like that. And once you figure out, YouTube's your best friend, go study some of the college tapes. Because I hate to tell you, if your kid go to college and do your stuff and don't do the college coach stuff, he's not gonna play. He's just not gonna play. So That's what I would do, but stay very humble about how your approach is. Um, Make sure you know, I would. It's just one of those things on when it comes to training. If you're starting, go look up college coaches, find out what they're doing, and develop yourself. Don't get caught up in the Instagram clicks. Make sure your stuff is working on a football field. Because if it's not working on the football field, you may be hot one year, and people will stop dealing with you the next year because it's not working. They're gonna go to whatever somebody's, if stuff is working, they're gonna keep coming back. So that's where you got to get to as a beginning trainer. You can network, but I do like for you to, build yourself. Don't be a tag along because some people will use you just to help them work out kids, and you'll never build your personal brand. If you want to just be a sidekick, be that. But if you want to build your personal brand, you're going to have to build it. You're going to build it and get your own kids. Don't try to, yeah, and try to go get kids that aren't working with guys. So you're not doing all this. They won't think you're a leech. You're trying to leech on a kid that's got a bunch of offers. Just develop your own kids, and if you develop your own guys, nobody can say you leached off their work because if a guy's got offers, he's been working with a guy for years. You start, oh, I can train him and do this. Does your stuff really work? Because he's already good when he got to you.
Mm.
He was. He was good if he comes in. If a kid's got 15 offers, what you teaching him probably not going to make that much of a difference. He's already good. College coach is not just offering a kid a lot of offers if he isn't good. So if you got a kid that's no name and you help develop that kid, you can show yourself that hey, something I'm doing working, and then you build upon that, and you keep evolving, like you keep evolving year after year, and then you'll keep getting better. So it's just one of those things like, the DB press, say for instance, press on the receiver has completely changed year after year. It changed when they took, and then of course when they say, hey, you can't touch the receivers as much, you got to change. If you got a guy play DB back early 2000, whatever he knew at press is completely out the door from what they're doing right now. So if he's still trying to teach that, that's not going to work. But if you go into those coaching workshops and get coaching camps, things like that, and you can pay and get in, go learn. Go learn. Just make sure you're learning. You're constantly learning when it comes to training guys.
Great advice. Go ahead, Big.
Yeah, hot two questions for you, Coach. I got to come with the steamrollers. All Gas Crew to me and everybody in this chat is big time. Can we see Gas Crew at OT7?
Mm.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I mean, OT7 do their own thing, right? Like they don't. They
That's just
pick and choose who they want.
That's true. That's true. I had to
So
ask.
you'll see us. I put it like this: you'll see us at the sevens every year. We'll come to the sevens every year. Z knows I'm coming every year to the sevens. But I honestly would love for OT7 to get back to how they were when they first started, when they were inviting straight teams, and the best of the best teams that were already together was there. So that's the thing. I don't know the way the sevens is run. I like how the sevens is run. So they took out the running. I know no running the ball, which is I think it's absolutely insane in 707.
Right.
You don't need to run a running back. You hit a pass the ball. It's a passing league. So I love how the sevens is run. If he wasn't doing this tournament right before spring football in Alabama, we would have played in this one, in the second one. But it's the day before spring ball starts. Like I'm not taking that heat. I'm just
I'd
not,
say that.
I'm just not doing that. But that's the thing, I think he's got a wonderful model how he's running a tournament, and I think a lot more tournaments need to adopt what they've got going on. It's no controversy. They got it set up where it's not a lot of extra going on. I'm big on football, so that's kind of what I would know. But yeah, OT7 has their picks, so I can't. I can't guarantee anything on any level of that. They got a structure. They got what they want, how they do things. I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I just know they got how they do things. That's how they run a business. And yeah, I can't give you an answer on that.
Oh well, all is well, Coach. I had to ask, man.
Yeah, I know.
Last thing, Coach. What's your thoughts on the Justice and News experience? You know, first time being on the pod. What's your thoughts?
We're fine. I don't have a problem. I mean, it's been fun. You all got me. Y'all got me good. Yeah. Yeah, you got me good. Yeah. You thought I forgot? You got me good. So, yeah.
That's the inside joke.
That prop interview, that was crazy. Y'all really got me. They faked the interview. These guys fake listening, like, oh yeah, like we were live. I was like, I know they didn't play me like that. But
that was just a warm up.
I know, I see you got me good. Like you got me good. But nah, it was fine. I had no problem. You guys asked actual real questions compared to a lot of fluff. So nah, I don't have a problem ever coming back on this pod with you two.
All right, there it is.
Appreciate it, Coach. Yeah, man, we're gonna let them get out of here. It's starting to kind of get dark out there, Coach. We know
I'm about to see if I get something in. I gotta get back. I gotta go work in the water. So I gotta get back, but I'm about to work out. But appreciate y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Appreciate you, Coach. Talk to you soon.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.